Is this overkill?
Put 4 more.
Starlink was just like, nope, peace, I'm out. Yeah, I didn't go offline.
The slower, the better.
Is this overkill? And the simple answer is,
So we need a bigger hole. We're gonna drill.
I heard that. So today is an exciting day because we have actually struggled with connectivity in our RV for quite a while. And today we are gonna be getting the ultimate RV internet setup, and we're gonna show you why you just might wanna consider the same setup that we're gonna do in the RV today, so stay tuned. We have Pete and Ben from West Networks here, and they're gonna help us with a really big problem that it feels like that we have been having for the last 5 years when it comes to staying connected on the road. And we'll talk a little bit about what those problems are and why that we are at the point we are at where we've been fed up and we're ready to do something different. And what we're about to do is really what I'm gonna call the ultimate RV mobile setup, because for connectivity, I don't think there's anything better. So you were telling me for connectivity, you work with the big dogs.
yes, we work with broadcasters and healthcare primarily. So we're focusing on, making sure real-time video, real-time streaming. We have 2 movie production companies that are using this technology to transmit those large files in real time. But we specialize in healthcare, so mobile mammography, CTs, X-rays, that kind of stuff, sending those large images over cellular in real time for a radiologist, providing faster recovery and response for emergency situations as well.
So for somebody that's in that scenario where they need, there's no option to wait on things to load or slow speeds or anything like that. You've got to have everything quick. And so for us working from the road, for a lot of people that are working from the road, they're having to do video calls, they're doing conference calls, they're doing a lot of things where speeds is absolutely crucial. And it is a make or break it situation when you're just trying to create a living and earning income on the road, and especially for people like in those situations too. So that's why we're super excited that we literally have the best of the best here with us today to do this install, and we're gonna bring you through the process. And then we have Ben, so we will put a link in the description below. You have to see Ben's setup. Our good friends Brian and Aaron over at 5 to Go met Ben, and this is kind of how we got sucked in and drank the Kool-Aid because of what Ben did with his setup and how amazing that it was. And so we're not going to probably have the creme de la creme, but we're going to have something pretty dang close by the time we're done.
I actually think your new setup is going to
be bigger?
Really?
Yes. Plug your ears, Ben. Plug your ears.
Well, he hasn't been with us long enough to get the 5G. You've gotten the 5G, so we haven't upgraded Ben yet.
Dang.
So Ben's running what he paid for with his own money, but now that he's part of our team at Peplink and West, he gets to get the 5G treatment.
Is this type of internet setup really a need for RVers, and is this overkill?
It's funny because we've had that kind of pre-discussion today, right? Is this overkill? And the simple answer is it depends on your mission, but most people, the idea of being able to hold a FaceTime phone call, the idea of being able to do a Teams meeting or a Zoom meeting or even voice call over Wi-Fi is so critical to the ability to be remote. And so it's not overkill if you want to communicate reliably in the field. And that's really what we're doing, is making that reliable connection. It's actually not about gigabytes, it's about reliability and stability.
I can tell you just from example, last night, everybody loves Starlink. My Starlink went down last night. The rain was so heavy that Starlink was just like, nope, peace, I'm out. Yeah, I didn't go offline. I have the cellular backups, and as soon as the Starlink went, came back on, it was immediately back in the mix. The only reason I knew it was down is because I got a notification on my phone saying Starlink is down. Oh, that's cool.
Now I will say though, like what we have in our supercharged van, that's running a quad cellular 5G. So we have 4 5G modems and a Starlink FHP. Might be overkill for the average RV.
See, I don't even know what that means. I think it really depends upon your mission, because there are some people that want to be remote, they want to live this nomadic lifestyle, but it means they have to have that solid connection to be able to continue to live life and to run their businesses and things like that. I love that, like, that's what you guys are going to do, is you're going to help us in our mission to be able to continue to be connected and create content and just have that reliable connection all of the time, because we'll share a little bit later in the video just some of the situations we've run into, why this has become such a pain point. So
That's gonna be fun. Thank you for having us.
Yeah,
thank
for
you.
coming, guys.
Appreciate it.
Yes. All right, well, let's get started.
Let's do this.
I said these will fit perfectly right here. You
Sweet.
can put 4 more. So you can
Whoa.
have an EPX setup.
I don't know what that is, but that sounds amazing.
I've measured this off, and I'm super accurate measurements here. I've got a little box in the window, and I know that's where I want to be here. I've measured off based on the ridge here and the door, and I know where, so I've created my little category here. Now we have a big box that's gonna cover up any ugliness of a hole, and it won't leak because Ben is crazy when it comes to the amount of sealant that he puts on them. So anyway, so let's drill a hole.
All right.
So as exciting as this would be, the slower, the better.
All right.
So I felt it loosen up, so I stopped. And what I want to do is just pop the top off and make sure that I didn't just cut a power cord or anything else. So I always go 1 layer down at a time, always. No exception to that rule. And once I get down the first layer, I take out my bit. Now I can go down 1 layer cleanly without having something that might punch down. So I'm gonna go down a little bit here. I felt it loosen up. Drilling the first hole always takes the longest, but you wanna be steadfast in what you're doing here. This is what you don't want to make a mistake.
Right.
We got a pilot hole, so we know where it's coming through. And I always do pilot holes if I'm unknown, right? Because you can measure, but you know, like, you don't have a baseline to measure. So I guessed. I guessed actually pretty good because I wanted it right here.
You understand, I'm a Colorado boy. I'm not used to this humidity.
I know, same thing, same here.
Kills me.
Oh, I didn't know you were from Colorado. What's the reason of doing the boxes versus just kind of drilling in and just...
Well, so you can have one hole to run a lot of, I mean, the antenna cables are only, just a small amount of actual space. You're gonna have a system with more than one antenna. So do we want to have a bunch of tiny little holes and then have to figure out where they go? As it stands right now, we're having to route, do an L bracket, kind of, an L-shaped route, so that we don't come outside the cabinet inside, because you want it to look good. One good box to seal around, and you've protected yourself.
Got it. A lot of people will put butyl tape down. Is that what you do?
Yeah, I do more than just that. So butyl tape is great for creating a secondary barrier. It creates an adhesive property for the box.
Okay.
But we still also use screws as well to hold the box down.
Got it.
And then after all of that, then we put the die-core self-leveling sealant around the outside.
So we need a bigger hole.
Yeah,
So we're gonna drill
I heard that.
a little bit more. Not a lot more, but need to fit more wires through.
Well, he's like, I need to make a bigger hole. Actually, I know what I'll do. I'll just put in 2 holes. That sounds great. Let's just put in 2 instead of 1. More holes for the win. I don't know. When this is all done, it's going to be amazing. I just am very averse to holes in the roof. Because that doesn't sound like it should be a good thing. It'll all work out in the end.
Yep.
We'll have everything sealed up really nice in a couple more weeks with the new spray from RV Roof. But anyway, it's just every time somebody says, let's put a hole in the roof, my heart's like...
Shake the stands, make some noise. This is your chance.
Cool. Beautiful.
Perfect measurements.
So you have a little tip about butyl tape, using it before using it. There's a prep tip. What is that?
Put it in the refrigerator for 1 to 2 hours.
Ah,
It'll make it colder, which will make it a lot easier, and it won't be this gooey stuff that you have to work with.
So that second one is for the other antennas?
Other antennas, yeah. I think I'm actually going to put the Peplink ones there.
Okay.
That way, for your access points, you have possibility of more cable for maneuvering them in that cabinet.
Okay, so here's one question that I've got. I just want to make sure. So, do you see this little sticker here?
Yeah.
Do I
You're
need
below
to
every-
change
nope. So that's the other
anything
thing.
on the height?
That's only
Below the
4.5 inches tall, which is lower than your air conditioning unit
Okay.
and your vents. So it's actually
Need to make
barely
sure.
taller than your solar panels.
Than the solar panels.
And like this little black dish you have there, whatever that is,
Yeah.
it's lower than that.
That black, what is the black thing? Isn't it like,
Like
the
maybe
some sort of
TV,
antenna?
high gain antenna.
Yeah,
I think it's,
We don't
yeah,
do
because
that.
there used to be like,
Yeah.
you know how it like,
Yeah.
The crank.
yes,
So-
the
Yes.
crank.
Yeah.
It's not like
Yeah,
that.
so it's lower than your air conditioning and that antenna thing.
Gotcha.
So it's
okay.
yeah.
Okay. So this sticker stays the
Yep,
same.
you're 12 feet 5 inches.
Don't need to change that. It's very
That's actually one of the
important
really
when
nice
you're
things about the
RVing.
Peplink antennas. They're only 1.5 inches thick.
Gotcha.
So if you were to surface mount them, they would literally be lower than your solar panels.
Yeah, they look way bigger on the pictures.
Yeah,
on the
yeah, they
internet.
look bigger than they are.
Okay.
And then, but they're 7 dB high gain. The antennas that come with your router are 0.3 to 1 dB. So it's literally, and it's an exponential gain. So it means you're getting a lot more improvement for the ability to reach a signal and to talk to a tower.
So one of the big pain points that we have had with mobile internet as we have been traveling is that because of the fact that we do carry several different hotspots from different carriers, just for redundancy and to make sure that we always have service if, let's say, we're in an area where AT&T is stronger than Verizon. So we've got this kind of dichotomy of different carriers. Well, we could be driving down the road, it could be a travel day, I could be working, kids could be on devices, and we happen to cross into a zone where maybe Verizon just doesn't have a very good signal, but let's maybe say T-Mobile does. So all of a sudden, everybody that's using internet, including myself, the kids, we realize, oh my gosh, my internet's not working very well. Okay, hold the phone. So now I'm having to say, let's jump off of the Verizon hotspot. Now you need to jump over to the T-Mobile hotspot instead. Everybody's trying to say, what Wi-Fi am I on? Phones are getting confused. We have a lot of devices, kind of smart technology that we have added to our RV over the years. So things like our RV GPS that we actually have Wi-Fi enabled, our smart thermostat, the servo for all of our solar equipment. These are all things that are using Wi-Fi. Well, now if you turn off one Wi-Fi because that's not working very well in that area and turn on a different one, everything is losing that communication.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
It has just been a very large pain point for us having to go from one network to another network, and now you're switching the Wi-Fi devices around and nothing's talking to each other.
All right, so what's next?
To install these other antennas here.
So these are for the Peplink
This will be
antennas?
directly for the Peplink, yeah.
Okay. Okay, so now we need to figure out what to do with Starlink, right?
Yes, so we have a modular bulkhead connector that we're going to put in at ground level. So we'll have the bulkhead connector there, but we are going to have to get the Starlink cable routed out here and then down.
Got it.
The router and everything can stay up here because it'll be connected with Ethernet to the Peplink.
So Ben made me a nice little pigtail that's completely weatherproof that will allow me to hook this up, you know, onto the pole buddy, or I can set it out on the ground anywhere. But this connects right up to the Starlink, and on the other end of it is just a little Ethernet port. So this plugs in right there, and then I can either, again, just take this right up to the pole buddy if there's no trees or anything above me, or if there is trees, I have the flexibility to take this and set it like out in like a field. What I had before was I had to bring it up through through the slide, or after that I put it up through the basement compartment. So I had it curled up in there and then I'd have to bring it out. But now I've got a nice little plug that plugs in right to the side of the RV.
Done.
Done, ski. And so the Starlink cable will run from there all the way back to there. I'm messing with you.
Getting it outside gives you better opportunity to get that signal.
Gotcha.
And so having the high gain antennas outside takes basically those hotspots even, they can go now outside.
Because it's not trying to go through, and like, let's just face it, most RVs are a metal box.
Yep.
At some point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
And literally the antennas are right there and the modem's there. So the wires are very short, so
Yeah.
there's not much latency
Yeah,
there.
so we don't have as much attenuation either because it's a really short cable run going right. The loss of signal.
Right. For the tech nerds.
I'm showing my like ignorance when it comes to all of the text and specs. I just want it to work. That's just all I'm.
That's the big thing here, right? You have all the carriers, and you don't have to worry about it. It's just going to work.
Yeah.
One network, the kids will just be on, you'll be working.
Don't have to think about it.
You don't have to think about it.
Beautiful.
I love this conduit too.
Yeah.
This is thanks to Ben's. It's funny because I started doing these.
Yeah.
And then I was running across with great stuff, sealing it up. And then Ben comes in, it's like, no, we just put some sealant, put the two tubes together.
Conduit.
So he took my job and made it a little bit nicer. We've already done like 3 installs with this now.
All right.
Little self-leveling sealant.
A little bit of sealant.
Close it all up.
I was like super impressed how pretty. Like it's like mounted on the wall and it's out of the way.
Wow.
And then we can. I assume we can kind of move some of this like around.
Yeah, those are your extra cables.
So this is just extra stuff. So we can still use all of this then for storage.
Yep.
And it's up and out of the way. It's just so pretty. I appreciate like organization. And so this is a very organized look versus like this menagerie of cables going everywhere. And so I'm just so happy. I'm just slightly nervous with the whole holes in the, but I know it's gonna be fine. It's all fine.
It'll be fine.
But I think that this is gonna be an amazing solution. I just am excited about what this is gonna provide to us. Oh, look, he's showing me. He has one of these fancy phone things that like folds.
See what it looks like.
Oh, so there's boxes on the roof.
Yeah, so the boxes cover the holes. So you don't have holes. It's all, and it's sealed with tape and then silicone and then self-leveling. It will not leak.
Gotcha.
Like, I mean, and then we put glue conduit between it, and then we have a watertight connector for your Starlink cable.
So now with the Peplink device, we have one device to sort of rule them all. All of our service is going through that Peplink device. It's automatically switching, so it knows if, say, T-Mobile's better in that area versus Verizon. It's also bonding everything together so that we're getting the strongest possible signal. And then again, with the antennas on the roof, we're definitely getting the best signal because we don't have the Wi-Fi trying to go through the metal walls of the RV to gain that signal. This really solves a huge problem for us from a connectivity standpoint. We're super excited to just be able to have more ease of use, one less thing to have to worry about as we travel and work from the road.
So I wanted to take a minute to explain real quick, kind of how does this work with all of these connections. So basically what I'm doing is I'm taking the connection from the AT&T hotspot, the Project Genesis, which is by Dish network, the Starlink, the Verizon SIM, the T-Mobile SIM, and I'm taking all of these connections and I'm bonding them together in a VPN tunnel that's called Speed Fusion, that's by Peplink, and it puts all the connections together and it makes a good, reliable connection. So as we're going down the road, as different connections, different signals are better quality, it'll automatically negotiate the connections for you. Basically, the kids don't know it, Charity doesn't know it. All they care about is they're getting a good connection and not have to connect up to different hotspot devices. Speed Fusion is doing that in the background automatically. So I absolutely love that. So far I've been doing different tests and I have been getting really good connections, like 200, 250 down, and then 30, 40 up, depending on where I'm at and what kind of signal quality that I'm getting. Just having those two high gain antennas on top, I went from a 4G connection now to a 5G connection on my Verizon and T-Mobile. Anyways, just wanted to quickly explain how that works for those of you that don't know exactly how the Peplink Speed Fusion works. So what about plans? Like if somebody wants to get set up with the hardware that we have here, or something that might fit them, you know, can they get that through you?
They can. Westnetworks.com is our company. Buypeplink.com, B-U-Y, peplink.com is our e-store. And if you use the coupon code Grateful Glampers, you'll get a discount. And you can also get free consultation and advice and service. So if you just mention Grateful Glampers, we're going to give you free consultation, free advice, as well as give you a discount on your package that you choose.
Awesome. And they're
Thank you.
kind of helping our viewers out with that. So a huge thanks to you guys, because we just really want to be a resource for the RV community. It's the whole reason we started this channel. And so anytime that we can partner with businesses like West Networks to provide those resources, that's what we want to do. And so we really appreciate you guys partnering with us for the RV community.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate it, man. Thanks, Ben. You guys rock.
Thank you.